point where he can take on the company, etc., etc. No, IRP's term will be over. Ah, it is there. There is a one-time extension of 90 days, which is more academic. From an IRP to RP, it is not automatic. It has to be approved by the committee of creditors. Because I am appointed by some creditor, ultimately my committee of creditor, the maximum shareholder is SBI and it's on the consortium. They would want to replace me and have some other person as the resolution professional accepted, fairly accepted. From an IRP to RP, it is not automatic. But from an RP to a liquidator is automatic. That is why I said the whole process is a seamless process. From an RP, once the resolution plan is rejected by the adjudicating authority, immediately the hat of the RP is removed and the hat of the liquidator is put in his head. Now, if the bank wants to remove the liquidator, they can remove. Or the liquidator wants to excuse himself, he can excuse himself. But the transition is automatic. That is why I say that the whole insolvency process is very seamless, actually seamless. One after another, automatically comes into play. So go into the definitions of insolvency, bankruptcy, not very important here. It is more of an academic venture. Creditor, I said you have a slight difference in creditor. Creditor means any person to whom a debt is owed. Includes a financial creditor, operational creditor, a secured creditor, unsecured creditor, and a decree holder. How do you treat a decree holder in your accounts? Creditor contingent? But for the purpose of insolvency bankruptcy code, even though the financials treat him as a contingent and not actually, you don't actually include that decree amount in your balance sheet. Do you, sir? Yes and no? When do you include it? At what stage you include it? No, I'm asking a genuine question. I'm not trying to test your knowledge. I want to be educated. Where there is a, no, okay, where there is a certain liability, you will have to take it. Where it is not, where you have time to appeal, where you have some time to appeal before the next forum, you don't generally take it, you keep it in the contingency, you have a notes in the accounts, you have to make a note in the accounts, isn't it not? But here, decree holder is a creditor. With the decree, you can approach the court, the NCLT, for your repayment of money. That is number one. Number two, debt means any liability or obligation in respect of the claim which is due from any person, including a financial debt or an operational debt. Here there is no distinction between a secured debt and an unsecured debt. Slide number 25. Claim. Right to payment, whether or not such right is reduced to a judgment, fixed, disputed, undisputed, legal, equitable, secured or unsecured. Disputed, undisputed is important here. How do we... I have to put here. See whether that yellow color... No. Yes, now it is. Disputed, undisputed. You cannot use the insolvency bankruptcy code as a recovery mechanism. It is not a recovery mechanism. Disputed liability, you cannot come and take orders from the court and try to recover your money. No. So all the claims which you make have to be undisputed. If the other party is able to prove that there is a dispute because of which I have not made the repayment, the admission will be rejected. The key to the door will not be given to you. Default. Default must be an undisputed default. You must have accepted it. You must have issued goods to him. There is no debit note from him telling that the goods are faulty. You are allowed to enter. You have made some service for which the other party has disputed, either the quality of service is not as per the expectation A, or the amount which you have told earlier and you have claimed now is not equal. Where there is an existing dispute, you cannot enter into the code at all. You have a right to remedy for breach of contract under any law for the time being in force. It's not that it has to be only with insolvency bankruptcy. It can be any law into it. If such breach gives rises to a payment, whether or not such right is reduced to judgment, fixed, matured, unmatured, disputed, undisputed, secured or unsecured. All these things form a claim, one claim. So in that claim, only an undisputed claim can be enforced by the insolvency bankruptcy code. If there is a dispute and the other party is able to prove that the dispute, you cannot enter into that. Default. Non-payment in whole or part or installment. But the debt has become due. The debt has become due and payable. It is not paid. So there must be a crystallization of liability for you to enter into the code. Dispute, yeah. Yeah? Balance sheet is only with 1 rupee is different. Will you accept it? No default. It must be payable. See, default means non-payment of debt. Default means non-payment of debt when the whole or part of the installment of the amount becomes due and payable and is not repaid. See, I have a situation where my corporate debtor has taken 12 crores of rupees and he has repaid perfectly except for the last 40 lakhs. Now he is facing the insolvency proceedings. Amount is not, if there is a default, you can. Of course, you have the threshold limits and all. The minimum default must be 1 lakh. Less than 1 lakh, you can't go for corporate situation. For a normal situation, 1,000 rupees is enough. Correct. Financial creditor, debt owned, financial debt is owed by the person. Operational creditor is an operational creditor, or the debt has been legally assigned to somebody else. There are factoring companies which take the debts and recover. All those things are there, which is also brought into the fold. Here, operational debt, which is a new concept only in this code. Operational debt means a claim in respect of a provision of goods or services, including employment, or a debt in respect of repayment of due arising under any law in force payable to the central government, also is included as operational debt only. So it is for the purpose of goods and services. The code applies to the companies under 1956, 2013. if I say only 2013, immediately the question is coming, sir, 1956 no, 1956 are naturally transitioned into the 2013 Act. So only 2013 I have mentioned, but 1956 also. All the LLP is a corporate person. Companies formed under the special act. What is it? The corporations, special acts. Notified body corporates, individuals and partnerships. So, so who are all excluded? Trust, the societies, etc. are excluded. Section 8 also comes into play, but Section 8 company will not have any default per se. In case there is a default, it can come. Company is under 2013. If the Section 8 company now is under 2013, it will come into play. Yes, sir. HUF. HUF will come as an individual or something else like that. Preliminary, okay. The whole thing, okay. Now I will go only into the corporate insolvency resolution to give you a taste of the whole process. Okay. So the process consists of the preliminary, section 4 and 5. Resolution process is between section 6 and 32. Then it is a liquidation. Then you have one concept called the fast track process. The fast track process, the amount of loan is less than 35,000 rupees. There are a lot of rules specified for that, which will come. And the fifth one is the voluntary liquidation, which I explained earlier. If you wanted to voluntarily liquidate a company, you will definitely have to liquidate it only through the Insolvency Bankruptcy Code and not through the Companies Act, because the Companies Act has delegated the powers under Schedule 11 of the code to the code itself. And the adjudicating authority. Who are the adjudicating authority? What are